Coming up next, Utah Valley University plays their very first ever home Western Athletic Conference game as they host Grand Canyon University. It's coming up next, right here on UVU TV. Welcome to Orem, Utah, UCCU Center, the site where tonight Utah Valley University takes on Grand Canyon, the very first ever Western Athletic Conference game to be played in Orem. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim McCall along with Matt Peterson. Now, this is pretty cool, Matt. A great, exciting night for these guys.
Very exciting for the players, very exciting for the fans, and for the school in general. You know, people who have supported the Wolverines for years and years and years, this is a great day for them because now we're actually in a tournament and things really start to matter.
Yeah, here's the standings just with a couple of games under the belt for a couple of teams. UVU's only played one game. They won their game against Bakersfield a week ago tonight. But Grand Canyon hanging tough at 2-1, their first ever Division I schedule. So the WAC looks like it's going to be a battle all the way down. New Mexico State predicted to win the thing by most everybody, and then everybody else battling for second place is what the pundits say. This pundit thinks UVU is going to win the thing. All right, let's talk about tonight's game. This is a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, it's a good matchup coming in. I think the Wolverines coming off a stellar road win at Bakersfield a few nights ago. Grand Canyon coming in with some momentum as well. So the Wolverines are going to have to come out from the very tip and play their best basketball because you're in conference season now, and games on the road from Grand Canyon's perspective are all the more important. So they're going to be ready to play, and the Wolverines have to match their energy from the start.
All right, as always, we ask you to talk about the key players. Let's start with UVU tonight.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at Ben Aird, named recently the WAC Player of the Week. Came off his best game of the season by far, 26 points and 13 rebounds at Bakersfield. He's a center. You expect that from him. Holton Hunsaker is a senior guard. These two have been through a lot together. Holton averaging 12.4 points per game, 4.6 assists per game, which leads the WAC. So those are the key players for the Wolverines.
Both seniors. Now let's talk about Grand Canyon's key players.
Yeah, you've got for Grand Canyon, Killian Larson, who is a center, 6'9" senior. He averages 15.7 points per game, 11.1 rebounds per game, which leads the WAC. And then we also have Jerome Garrison, who's a junior guard. He averages 13.8 points per game, and recently he had 25 points against New Mexico State last week. So going to have a big-time matchup inside with Killian Larson and Ben Aird, and you're going to have a perimeter matchup as well.
And from everybody I've talked to around the UVU program, these two teams match up really well. It's going to be an interesting game tonight. So keys to the game for UVU.
Yeah, a lot of things are going to play out, but I think, number one, they have to focus on the little things. When they do so, when they out-rebound and when they're able to get back in transition and defend, they usually are very competitive and usually come away with the win. They've got to win the battle. There's a lot of battles that are going to be going on in this game, but the battle we're talking about is inside. You've got two really true big guys in Ben Aird and Killian Larson, who we just talked about. That's going to be a battle inside between those two. And then, as always, for the Wolverines, they're going to have superb execution, and they're going to have to have a lot of patience on offense, because what Grand Canyon is going to do is put pressure. They're going to try and turn the Wolverines over and turn that into points. So execution and patience on offense for the Wolverines will be key.
All right, this one should be fun. A great matchup here at Orem, Utah. Utah Valley and Grand Canyon get set to do battle. We're going to take a quick break. Back with more Costa Vida pregame show after this with your starting lineups and your opening tip. Wolverines getting set to open Western Athletic Conference play at home. Coming up next right here on UVU. Welcome back to the UCCU Center. Grand Canyon and Utah Valley getting set to go at it. Grand Canyon's going to start Sam Daly, Daniel Alexander, Jerome Garrison, Killian Larson, and Blake Davis. 2 juniors, 2 seniors, 1 freshman. Grand Canyon comes in here 7-9 overall, but they are 2-1 in the Western Athletic Conference. Surprising a whole lot of people that they've won 2 games in their first year. All right, here's your starting lineups for Utah Valley. Mitch Bruneel, starting at forward, averaging 9.5 points a game. Junior from Boise, Idaho. There's Zach Nelson, redshirt freshman, 6'7" from Yuba City, California, averaging 12 points a game. Ben Aird, WAC Player of the Year, 11 points and 7 rebounds a game. He's 6'9", senior from Bountiful. Keavi Enos, the WAC's best 3-point shooter, averaging 8.5 points a game. He's 6'1", a senior from Mesa, Arizona. And there's Holton Hunsaker, the senior from North Salt Lake City, Utah, averaging 12.5 points a game and a WAC leading 4.6 assists a game. UVU comes in here averaging 70 points a game. They are 7-7 overall, but they've only lost 1 game here at home. And so far, they're undefeated in Western Athletic Conference play at 1-0. Utah Valley and Grand Canyon, but more importantly, Matt, it's WAC action.
How exciting! Yeah, I mentioned in the lead up here how exciting it must be for all the people that have been around the university for so many years. I made the comment, things really matter now, but that's not really the case, because without all of the actions and without all of the build up and lead up to this moment from all the people involved, then we wouldn't be where we are, and all of that's really what mattered. And what an exciting time to be here, to be taking part in this first tip-off at home for the Wolverines in the WAC conference.
Ben Aird will jump center against Daniel Alexander, 2 6'9" guys. And the WAC action is underway at the UCCU Center. Grand Canyon, first possession. Try to work it inside immediately, working against Ben Aird. And here come the Wolverines. Holton Hunsaker. Zach Nelson, redshirt freshman. Turnover. Garrison won't go. Nelson with the rebound for UVU.
Let's see what the Wolverines do offensively on their second possession here. It looked like they tried to post up Holton a little bit in that first possession. They normally try and go inside. Here they get that ball inside to Zach, see if he can get something early.
Twisting, turning, shot won't go. Larson with the rebound.
Yeah, it's a good look. You try and get your big guys posted up. You try and get them open early. No surprise to see that ball being posted up 2 straight times.
There's the matchup in my mind. Killian Larson against Ben Aird. But driving to the hole and getting the first points of the game is Blake Davis for Grand Canyon.
Yeah, nice left-hand finish there from Blake. I agree with you. I mean, that Ben Aird Killian Larson matchup is going to be so key. But usually you have other guys that are going to have to step up, and a nice basket early on there from Blake Davis.
Aird will take the jumper.
And that's good for the Wolverine offense, because he can spread and space the court. We've seen him with the ability to knock down that shot, even 3-point shots. So if he can stretch out Killian Larson, that'll open up the inside for other players to post up.
Wolverines come away with the batted pass. 2 minutes deep, tied at 2. Two teams averaging just about the same amount of points per game. Just over 70 points for Grand Canyon, just under 70 points for Utah Valley. Defense where Utah Valley excels. They lead the conference in defensive points allowed. Nelson's baseline drive to Aird.
What a pass from Ben. We talked about what he can do offensively. We saw him spread the court. And, there he, off of the drive from Zach, he flashes to the middle and finishes with the dunk. Great early start for him.
Ben Aird has 4 points. Grand Canyon still stuck at 2.
believe I said the previous possession pass from Ben, but that was the pass from Zach behind the back. Nice dish off to Ben for the slam.
Now, those two had a phenomenal game last Saturday in Bakersfield. This pass almost got away from Ben. Bruneel for 3. Rebound comes down to Killian Larson, who number 6 in the nation in rebounding, by the way. Not bad for a first-year D1 program. Here's a 3 back the other way for Grand Canyon. Sam Daly.
I think the Wolverines got caught there going under the screen. You know, that's interesting. That's only Sam Daly's 4th three-point attempt of the season. So clearly, I think the thought was on screens for him, go under the screen. He's not gonna shoot it, but knocking down that shot, only his 4th attempt of the year.
And his first one he's made.
Yep.
Ben Aird from outside again. You got to be kidding me.
There we go. That's that offense. You know, Ben's kicking it up a notch with the last game that he had against Bakersfield. We're seeing everything. Mid-range jump shot, slam in the paint, a long three-point shot.
Well, it's not Ben's first 3. He's been known to take a few. He's now 4 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's a nice job there of Killian Larson working inside. Ben Aird fronting the post there, so you can get a pass over the top of Ben, which he did there. Killian was able to finish. The rotation from Zach a little bit late, and Killian Larson able to make the finish.
Knotted at 7. Bruneel open for the jumper, missed again from the corner. Rebound this time by Garrison. Here's another 3. Grand Canyon has been coached well. Marley, their head coach, used to put up a lot of 3s during his career.
Yeah, another long 3 there from Daniel Alexander goes a miss. That was not a timely shot.
Zach Nelson in and out game with Ben Aird. Ball tied up. Possession arrow goes UVU's direction. That brings us to our first timeout. Told you this was going to be a good one. We're tied at 7. Just about 5 minutes deep into this one.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. At UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
Here in Orem, Utah, a lot of UVU fans are familiar with UVU, but folks looking in who might not be so familiar with the Wolverines. Orem, Utah, about 45-minute drive south of Salt Lake City. Dick Hunsaker, the head coach, NCAA Division I now for a handful of years, and just joined the WAC. This is their first season. Green and gold colors, UVU, 33,000 students here in Orem. And yes, parking is a problem on this campus. But it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have.
Definitely a great problem to have.
UVU already making substitutions. Brendan Evans and Hayes Garrity into the game. Meanwhile, your 2 key players for UVU on the bench, getting a breather.
Yeah.
Holton Hunsaker and Ben Aird.
Probably not going to see them out for very long. But we've talked about all season long, Jim, the bench play of the Wolverines. They're going to have to, as we get into conference season, the bench play is really going to have to step up. And so far this year, I think they've really come into their own these last couple games.
2 seconds on the shot clock. And a foul inside first. There was still 1 second left on the shot clock when Bruneel put that up.
Yeah, the Wolverines got bailed out there, but foul called.
Blake Davis, foul.
Yeah, only 1 second left on the shot clock, as you pointed out. So the Wolverines get that foul called and
fresh 35.
New shot clock.
Bit of luck there, eh? I visited Canada once and I picked up an accent evidently by accident. Wolverines looking to break this logjam at 7. Brendan Evans kicks outside. Nelson. Nope. Grand Canyon with another rebound.
That was a good offensive possession there. You get Brendan Evans posted up inside. When that ball goes in, Zach spaced out on the baseline. But both of the bigs, Ben Aird and Zach Nelson, have the ability to shoot that outside shot as we get some action inside. Hayes Garrity with the steal.
Hayes Garrity, the fastest player on this UVU team, tries to take it coast to coast. He's fouled on the way to the hole, that time by Sam Daly. It looked like to me it was Hayes Garrity reached in and slapped it away.
Yeah, and he was the backside, the weak side rotation. Once again, the Wolverines are fronting inside. They're going to be fronting probably the whole, well, I don't know about the whole night, but Killian Larson so far they've been fronting him with Ben Aird. If Zach Nelson has ever been on him, Brendan Evans is on him there. They're looking to front. So the pass over the top is going to be what Grand Canyon will attempt to do. So you have to have timely, solid backside help, and rotations have been there. We mentioned a little bit earlier Zach was late on one, but that time Hayes comes over and gets the steal.
Hayes Garrity running point guard, takes it in, dishes off to Nelson inside. Can't get the first two down. Third one is blocked from behind. Looks like Davis got it from behind that time. Grand Canyon double-handed stuff that time by Alexander.
Yeah, quick move from Alexander. We weren't expecting him. I wasn't expecting him to make that quick of a move. He got that ball on the perimeter and finished strong at the rim.
6'9", 217 pounds they listed. Garrity draws some traffic. Wolverines have gone cold. 3 of 10 shooting. There's a 3 from outside, that one from Alexander. All right, they've already put up 6 3-pointers. That'll make it 5 officially, 2 out of 5.
Yeah, and Alexander on the season, he's a 46.5, so virtually 47% three-point shooter. So we saw him the play before, drive to the basket. That time pulls up for the 3. He's definitely a tough cover defensively for whoever matches up against him.
12-7, Keavi Enos misses his first 3 of the night. Grand Canyon with yet another rebound. I told you before the break, before the last commercial, that Grand Canyon, one of the toughest rebounding teams in the WAC. They lead the WAC in defensive rebounding. There's a 3 from outside. That one missed from Garrison. Wolverines with a rebound.
Yeah, that was really good movement offensively, and you're going to get 4 substitutions for the Wolverines here. But on defense for the Wolverines.
All right, let's go to our sideline reporter, Matt Biamani, real quick. Sorry, Matt.
So coming into this substitution, we're going to see Taylor Brown. He's only played in 5 games this year, as you know, in the second game of the year against North Carolina A&T. Taylor Brown had an ankle injury that has kept him out for a long time, but a team manager told me he's at 95%. And as you guys mentioned a second ago, they need some more bench points, and I'm thinking that Taylor Brown is going to be able to give them a lift, returning to action, finally healthy. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Matt. Matt Biamani, our sideline reporter. Matt Peterson, our analyst. All right, you were saying, Matt, before I interrupted.
Well, I think, Matt brings up a good point. They are going to have some production. Taylor Brown coming back, he out for a couple of weeks with an injury. But what I was saying that has given the Wolverines some problems defensively is the drive and kick game from Grand Canyon. It's been a lot of screening, a lot of driving, and then once that ball gets out on the perimeter, a lot of movement, a lot of passing from Grand Canyon, and that's given them the opportunity to score.
Well, the aforementioned Taylor Brown is into the game, but this is Holton Hunsaker driving in after Ben Aird missed that jumper. Ben's first miss of the night. Wolverines now 3 of 12 shooting. It remains 12-7.
So you see Ben Aird and Killian Larson inside battling. Ben's trying to keep that front position, at the same time helping when players are coming off of screens.
Alexander.
And you see that play from Alexander. He had Chad Ross, who was guarding him. Looked like they were attempting to do almost a high-low type action, but with Alexander knocking down the three on the previous possession, Chad Ross had to go out. He challenged. Alexander used a pump fake and one dribble pull-up.
It's a 9-0 run right now for Grand Canyon. Ben Aird little jump hook.
Yeah, I think that's going to be there most of the night. Unless Grand Canyon starts to double team Ben inside, which they might have to do, but
Ben Aird has all 9 Utah Valley points.
Yeah, a much-needed basket, and this is not something that we're used to seeing. The Wolverines previously had a lot of balance offensively.
In fact, this is the first game all season that one player scored the first 9. All right, that foul's going to go against Chad Ross. That'll bring us to our media timeout. Grand Canyon looking tough on the road right now. UVU got to get things going, trailing by 5.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Come join the student section and cheer for the Mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
Back at the UCCU Center, we talked to you earlier about UVU. Here's the Grand Canyon profile. They're in Phoenix. Dan Marley, yes, he of NBA fame, is their head coach. They are the Antelopes, brand new members of the Western Athletic Conference, provisional members in D1. They're not eligible for postseason play for 4 years. Purple, black, and white. And right now they're putting a lot of purple and black onto UVU because Grand Canyon has hit half of their shots. Put up 12 and made 6. UVU's just 4 of 13.
And UVU hasn't turned the ball over. I think that they've got really good shots. They just haven't been able to knock them down. And I think a lot of that has to deal with the pressure that the Lopes are putting on the Wolverines, whether it be on the perimeter or whether that ball goes inside. But Ben Aird been the lone point, the lone bright spot offensively so far.
Sam Daly missing the first free throw. Makes the second one. 15-9. Here's Garrity, feeds inside, wide open. Zach Nelson.
That's what they need, a good, quick offensive set, nice movement, crisp passes, and the timing on that was perfect.
And somebody other than Ben Aird has finally scored for UVU.
Yeah, I think they're going to start coming around here. It's the offensive skill for the Wolverines is just too great for Ben to carry the load.
Wide open three from Davis. Wolverines coming back the other way.
Yeah, again, another drive and kick, and that's been a big part of their offense. When Grand Canyon gets that ball anywhere on the perimeter, they're either looking for the immediate three or the drive. When that defense collapses, that ball is being passed out, and a couple early open threes.
.12 on the shot clock for UVU. Ben Aird jumper. A weak side rebound from Alexander. (15-11), fairly low scoring first half. 46% shooting for Grand Canyon. They lit it up 65% against Bakersfield in the second half on Thursday night. That time an initial miss from Garrison, but fouled on the putback by Ben Aird. His first, the team's second.
Talking about Jerome Garrison, Jim, we mentioned in the pregame he was coming off 25 points versus New Mexico State last week, and You could see his aggressiveness when he gets that ball, especially when maybe there's a switch or a rotation that gets a bigger man on him, as was that case when Zach Nelson was out. Rome saw the lane and drove, even though he didn't get the original shot, got the rebound.
UVU substitution pattern puts their starting 5 back on the floor. Garrison's free throws make it 17-11. Ben Aird driving in, contact as he put up the jump hook. He'll shoot 2. That one's going to go against Blake Davis.
Yeah, another well-timed play offensively. Zach Nelson gets that ball at the high post, and as that pass is being made on the weak side block, Mitch Bruneel is setting almost like a rub screen, not necessarily a full down screen, but just trying to rub off the defender that's guarding Ben, and Ben ducks into the paint, and he had his momentum going and carried him all the way to the front of the rim and gets fouled.
Second foul against Davis, 3rd team foul against Grand Canyon. Ben Aird gets the rebound way out front and was tripped trying to find some open space. Kachi Okugo got him. Sophomore from Sacramento. Is that the coolest name ever? Yukachi Okugo.
That's a really neat name. You were just waiting to say that one, weren't you?
Do not ask me to spell that thing, however. Hunsaker. Mitch Bruneel.
Nice play there from Holton. He was aggressive, driving down the left side of the lane, passed that ball off. It gets blocked, but Mitch Bruneel, as is so often the case with him, he's in there mixing it up for the offensive rebounds, and he's able to finish.
Oh my goodness. Finding the seam, splitting it, Daniel Alexander.
Travel.
And that's why he split the seam so well.
Yeah, that's why he split the seam. I think he took one too many hop there. Didn't really establish his second step there. Good call from the official. That's why he split that seam, as you said.
Grand Canyon done a good job defensively on Hunsaker. He's yet to take a shot. But it's Bruneel inside, missing there. Ben Aird back up.
Yeah, and the Wolverines, the last 3 possessions, 3 offensive rebounds. On the free throw, the previous possession when Mitch had the ball, Ben had the ball, Mitch finished it, and that possession, Ben finished it. So you can see Coach Marley upset on the sideline because his team is giving up offensive rebounds and second chance points.
Zuloff with a little jump hook. He was fouled. I believe it was Zach Nelson, yeah. Freshman Zach Nelson got him on the way up. So that'll bring us to another media timeout. Right at 7.5 minutes left in this one. UVU down here in the first half by 2 at home.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Come join the student section and cheer for the Mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
Wolverines are starting to warm up a little bit. Grand Canyon's starting to cool off a little bit. WAC game at the UCCU Center. Hey, coming up at halftime, we're going to talk to UVU Athletic Director Vince Odeball, get his views on tonight being the first WAC game ever played here on the UVU campus. Vince Odeball, fairly new athletic director, started July 1. Replacing longtime athletic director Mike Jacobson. Haven't had a chance to look around. I'm guessing Mike is either here, Mike Jacobs I'm talking about, is either here or watching at home with proud as Papa smile on his face. He's the one that brought UVU all the way from junior college status to D1 and then into the WAC. At the free throw line, Jake Zuloff, redshirt sophomore, misses that first. Well, maybe I should say this now before these two teams keep missing free throws, but they're the #1 and #2 free throw shooting teams in the WAC. Utah Valley #1, Grand Canyon #2. Right now, UVU's 0 for 2 from the stripe, and Grand Canyon is 4 of 6.
Yeah, a little unusual. The Wolverines have only attempted those 2 free throws so far. Ben Aird with the 2 attempts and the 2 misses, obviously, but pretty clean game. Not a lot of turnovers, not a lot of fouls. It's been a clean officiated game, and just as I say that, we get a foul call.
Did you say the word foul,
I did.
partner? That one against Daniel Alexander, his first, team's 5th. Grand Canyon's been whistled for 5, UVU whistled for 3. Ben Aird, WAC player of the week. Holton finally gets a shot, misses it. Bruneel fights for the rebound, headed out of the corner, but it'll go to Grand Canyon.
Yeah, nice fight there for Mitch Bruneel, but a pretty good box out there by Okugo as Mitch using all of his strength to get around there. A well-executed play again. Another good shot there from the wing. The Wolverines just not able to knock it down.
Alexander feeds inside. Larson couldn't get it to go. Wolverines come away with it.
I think Alexander would have been better off just shooting that ball. He tried to pass that ball as he drives to the lane. Again, just the shot is there, not able to fall. Wolverines got to get back in transition here.
7 of 21 are the Wolverines. 33% shooting. It's a team that averages 45%. Well, Wolverines haven't played in a week. Grand Canyon on a road trip. I'm assuming they left Phoenix on Wednesday to play in Bakersfield on Thursday and came here to Orem, Utah on Friday for tonight's game. Nelson looking to tie it up. Grand Canyon with yet another rebound. Well, the poor shooting by both teams is giving each team a chance to get a lot of rebounds. 13 so far for Grand Canyon, 12 for UVU. And a 3 from Daniel Alexander way out there.
You know, we talked about Ben Aird's versatility, but Daniel Alexander showing his versatility as well. A couple finishes at the rim, a couple drives, and then I believe now that's his second 3-point that's made. So tough guard.
He's got 10 points. Bruneel scores inside for UVU.
Yeah, I think Grand Canyon got confused on that play as Mitch Bruneel, very similar to a play they ran earlier when Ben Aird ducked into the paint. 2 defenders went to Ben, left Mitch open, and he converts the finish.
Wolverines come up with a turnover. 4th turnover for Grand Canyon. Bruneel shot blocked that time by Alexander. So it remains a 4-point lead, just under 5 minutes to play here first half. Grand Canyon out in front. UVU's last lead was 7-5.
You see this offense from Grand Canyon, Jim. It's 4 out, 1 in, and you see Killian Larson inside. You're going to get a timeout. Probably not the possession that they wanted to run, but the last couple possessions, that's the offense that they've been running. 4 men out, 1 man inside, spacing that court. Give the big man Killian Larson inside room to operate, and if not, then you've got so much space on the perimeter for your perimeter guys to operate with screens on the balls or handoffs or any action that they seem fit.
These two teams have played before. Last time was 2005. Dick Hunsaker was the head coach then for UVU. He still is. He's been around forever, seems like. got a great career going. 375 career wins, 208 of them here at UVU. He was the Great West Conference Coach of the Year twice before the team moved to the Western Athletic Conference. And Hunsaker and his wife Diane, parents of 4 children, and actually they have a lot more than one grandchild. Several. I don't know how many, but several. In fact, his son Holton Hunsaker, starting point guard, is father of one of them. 3 seconds to shoot on the clock. Ben Aird with another rebound, his 6th. Keavi Enos. He and Hunsaker still scoreless in this first half. 2 starting guards haven't scored. In fact, only 3 Wolverines have scored. Aird's got 11 points. Bruneel 4, Nelson with 2. 11 seconds shot clock. Hunsaker for 3.
That was right in front of us, Jim. We had a perfect angle for that one, and that was a nice job Holton coming off of the screen, reading the defender, finding himself in a good rhythm and just setting his feet. That was a picture-perfect 3-point attempt.
Pulls the Wolverines to within 1. Driving in, contact. Ben Aird and Chad Ross were there. But the foul is going to go, I think, against Ben Aird.
I believe they called that on Keavi Enos.
Oh, really? Before he got there. All right.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
Dan Marley, head coach at Grand Canyon, played at Central Michigan, drafted by the Suns with a pretty high pick, had a stellar NBA career, 3-time All-Star, 2-time named to the All-Defensive second team, Magic Man. Grand Canyon very happy to have lured him away. I think he was an assistant coach for the last 4 years with the Phoenix Suns before they hired him as head coach.
Wasn't his nickname Thunder Dan Marley? I believe that's what it was.
He probably had all sorts of nicknames.
Yeah.
Well, when you're that good, you get a new nickname every month or so. What was your nickname when you played?
I don't know. They called me
I don't want to know.
a lot of different names.
Yeah, I don't.
Depending on who it was.
None that you can say on the air, I'm sure.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, thanks. Garrison makes the front end of.
Coach had a lot of nicknames for me, but so many I can't remember.
(23-20). And 1. Mike Nelson looking to tie this thing up.
Now, this is a play that the Wolverines ran earlier in the game. As we see the replay here, Zach comes up to pretend like he's setting a screen. And when he feels the timing is right, what he does is he just slips because the big guy's chasing him up thinking that he's going up to set the screen. So Zach and Ben ran the play a little bit earlier. You read where that defender is and you just slip right to the basket.
Bruneel did save it from going out of bounds, but Grand Canyon with another 3-point attempt and Ben Aird with yet another rebound, his 7th. Holton for 3. UVU's best shooter and top scorer has come alive.
And it's so easy, coming from experience, as you see that ball work inside, Killian Larson not able to finish, but when you as a shooter can dribble the ball down, find your rhythm, and pull up, it's almost a guarantee. It's just a great way to shoot when you can find your rhythm.
Hayes Garrett, he couldn't get that one to go down. Grand Canyon's made one of their last 6 shots.
Here's that 4 out, 1 in again. And you see Alexander now looking to go to post up Hayes Garrett. He'll have to have some help, but it's that 4 out, 1 in motion that Grand Canyon's running with Killian Larson coming up to set picks on the ball, and then they space it, kind of keep these 4 perimeter players stay in their same spots.
Contact inside, no call, and Garrison with the follow.
And as a defense, you have to respect that, because Grand Canyon has shown that they're not afraid to shoot the 3-point shot. So as a defender, you have to honor your man, meaning you have to stay out close on the 3-point line. Otherwise, you give up an open shot.
Hunsaker getting some looks now, but couldn't get that one to go down. Shooting percentages evening out just a little bit after that hot start from Grand Canyon. Nice feed, nice drive down the lane from Sam Daly.
Yeah, that ball goes inside to Killian Larson, and you have a double team coming over, and just the rotations weren't on time, and a miscommunication as you get just Sam Daly just driving right down the middle of the lane.
Coming up on a minute left here in the first half. 15-second shot clock. Holton. He's missed his last 3. Shot clock at 20 seconds. 40 on the game clock. Garrison. Cross to Daly. Buries the 3.
I think he banked that in, Jim, and you know what that is? Again, only 3 3-point attempts on the season. He takes 2 tonight and makes both of them.
Well, after UVU took a 25-23 lead, 7 straight points from Grand Canyon. And UVU is going to go for the last shot here in the first half, trailing by 5. Bruneel in the corner. And that's pretty easy to call. Hayes Garrity all over Daniel Alexander, and Alexander very slow to get up.
Good effort there from Hayes Garrity going in. Nice block out, or at least position there from Daniel Alexander, forcing Hayes to go over the back.
5.2 seconds left.
Nice tackle there from Hayes.
All sorts of substitutions for both teams, as both head coaches don't want any of their starters or hot players to pick up a silly foul here in the last 5 seconds of the first half. See if Grand Canyon can get a shot away from midcourt. Nope. So that's how they go to the locker room. Grand Canyon scoring the last 7 points of the first half to lead UVU in this Western Athletic Conference contest, 30-25.
People talk about life after college, you know, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
Back at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah, the Wolverines of Utah Valley trailing at halftime to Grand Canyon 30-25. Hey, we're joined now courtside by fairly new athletic director here at UVU, Vince Odepal. What do you think of that first half, young man?
This game is going to be very, very exciting. It's already proven to be, and it's not going to be for the faint of heart as this game goes on, and certainly the entire season this year in the WAC. No easy ones this year.
All right, let's talk about the WAC. Proud papa you are tonight, are you not?
I am. I'm very, very excited to be here, very excited to be a part of the Wolverine family and what we're doing here at UVU. Really neat things going on. I just, as you said, proud papa. I just 6 months I've been here,
right?
And we've seen a lot of good things happen. But tonight, having this game here against this university against Grand Canyon, who's they're a good team and they're a good university, but it's we got a whole half to fight them. It's going to be good.
All right, talk to me about the WAC. You came in from the West Coast, over in California.
Yep.
Mike Jacobson was longtime AD here. You guys are good pals. There's no bad blood there, is there?
Not at all. No, Mike's a great guy. The only problem I have with Mike Jacobson is that guy's shoes are about this big.
Yeah.
And I can't get my feet inside shoes that big.
Stop.
No, what Mike has done here and continues to do, just unprecedented. The way he was able to work the NCAA and work with the WAC and put us in a really good position to do some really good things here. Really a big fan of Mike Jacobson.
And it's not just the men's basketball program that's a big deal about being in the WAC. It's all the sports across the board.
Absolutely. We're talking basketball right now with women's and men's because that's what's going on.
Right.
Indoor and outdoor track. Our indoor track team set all kinds of school records today over at BYU. They had an indoor track meet over there. And now baseball and softball are going to start here in 2 weeks. And it is awesome. It's a great time to be here. We've got great coaches in place. A really good leadership for the university with President Holland. And our student athletes, you just kind of watch them here. The ones who aren't playing, our kids who are here supporting our basketball program, our basketball team tonight. Good kids, really proud to be a part of them.
Yeah, and talk about the GPA of these guys, because not only are they good kids, they're good in the classroom as well.
You bet. Really, we set a record this year. Jim, thanks for bringing that up. We have, as you know, just over 300 student athletes here for the Wolverines, and we had a record of a 3.18 GPA, cumulative GPA in the fall semester, which is really unprecedented. And
really, that's pretty good.
It's really impressive. In fact, I was talking with Clint, our sports information director, as you know, and we had one of the WAC schools put out that they had a 3.17. For their fall semester, and I said, hey, let's get ours up there. If they can put up 3.17, let's put a 3.18. Well, we're not going to compete just on the basketball court, but we'll compete academically with them as well.
All right, we talked academically. They're telling me we just got a minute left. What have you told your head coaches about competing on the court, on the field this year? Goals?
I said we need to win. We have an internal competition with all of our coaches to see who's going to be able to bring home the first national championship for us.
Oh, really? Not just WAC championship.
And we've got that, as you know, and very nice, Jim, for bringing it up. Thanks very much. Our men's cross country
softballs you want,
our men's cross country team won the WAC championship.
Yeah,
We've got our first WAC championship trophy in the office, and I was trying to bring it, but I couldn't fit it in my pocket.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty big. That's pretty big. Vince Odepal, we're out of time. Congratulations on being in the WAC. Nice crowd tonight. Congratulations to everybody.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Look forward to it next time.
Love it. All right, stay with us for a second. We'll take a break. We're coming back. First half stats. We might even have a highlight or two. We'll see if we can cue those up for you. Wolverines down by 5 at halftime to Grand Canyon here on UVU TV.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Back at halftime, Utah Valley trailing Grand Canyon by 5. Grand Canyon cooled off a bit, ended up shooting 40% in that first half. But the Wolverines, Matt, kind of a paltry 35% shooting.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, Jim. 11 of 31. They got 31 shots, and they got a lot of really good looks, too.
Yeah.
They just weren't able to convert those. They were 3 of 10 from the three-point line, and they only attempted 3 free throws in the first half, which is very unusual for this Wolverine team. And what I find also a couple other statistics, they haven't had any scoring off of their bench, which is not something that the Wolverines are used to. And they only had 1 turnover in that first half as well. So they've taken care of the basketball, and it goes to show that they just haven't been able to knock down the shots that they normally do because they've taken care of the ball. They've got great looks, and they just haven't fallen.
UVU did lead a couple of times, but only by 2 points each. We got some highlights queued up. I'm going to let you walk us through these, Matt.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of good things on those baskets and on those scores that the Wolverines did have. You get a lot of good actions. You're going to see some, Ben Aird's going to be a lot of the statistics, and he's been very active inside. He's been knocked down a couple of shots outside, but one thing that we pointed out kind of midway through that first half and some of these highlights that we're seeing is they're creating some second chance opportunities for themselves with offensive rebounds after shots inside. There's that 3 from Holton that we talked about. But I think if you're the Wolverines, and granted Coach Hunsaker might disagree, but I say you just keep doing what you're doing, because chances are you're not going to shoot that poorly in the second half that you did in the first half, and your offense is your shots haven't fallen, but everything seems to be going for them the way that they needed to. And we go back to the keys to the game.
Here's your keys to the game. We're holding you to these now, Peterson.
Yeah, we talked about keys to the game. We mentioned how they've got to focus on the simple things. They've done a nice job. We pointed out in transition, Wolverines haven't given up any fast break opportunities, and they've done a nice job of solid defense. They've got to win the battle inside. Ben Aird, first half, he's got 11 points and 7 rebounds. Killian Larson, largely ineffective. He's got 2 points and 6 rebounds, so the Wolverines are winning that key to the game. And then execution and patience on offense, I think they've had that. They've had execution on most of the baskets that they've scored. They were well-executed plays. I think the patience part is going to be what comes into play in the second half. Don't get frustrated. Keep doing what you're doing offensively. Stay patient, and things are going to start turning around. So, so far I think they're following what the keys of the game were that we outlined, and I think they're doing just fine.
And look at that. People in the stands are actually following us online, checking out your keys to the game, I'm sure. 4 players scored in that first half for UVU, led by Ben Aird's 11 points, 6 from Holton Hunsaker, 4 each from Bruneel and Nelson. And that was it. Meanwhile, 10 points from Daniel Alexander. He was the only player in double figures for Grand Canyon. 9 points from Sam Daly. 30-25. UVU down by 5. What do they got to do second half?
Well, I think they've got to continue to defend Killian Larson.
Yeah.
You know, he's had 2 points. I think where they really need to focus is on Daniel Alexander. He's proven to be a tough matchup so far. And again, I think a big key on offense for the Wolverines is they're going to have to get some production off of their bench. When those bench players come in, they've got to contribute right away.
All right, we'll take our final break here at halftime. Coming back with your second half on UVU TV. Grand Canyon leading Utah Valley by 5 here in the WAC.
I felt that the MBA offered me the most in terms of what I could do with it once I graduated. It's international recognition. I could go to Europe, Asia, South America, and people recognize the name MBA. It means that the person that holds that degree has a certain level of understanding of business management concepts and practices, that they can understand what it means to follow best practices in accounting or marketing or sales. And I wanted to have that associated with my name.
Well, the goals that I achieved by enrolling in UVU's MBA program were primarily to gain a CPA so I could do more for customers in terms of going beyond bookkeeping. I also just wanted to make a change in life.
My main reason of why I ended up pursuing it was because of marketability. I wanted to be marketable in case I wanted to say I want to do something different down the line. And getting the MBA opens up those doors if you want to take that change in your career path.
Getting ready to start our second half here at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah. Utah Valley down by 5 to Grand Canyon. Tell you what, let's check in with our sideline reporter once again, Matt Biamani, see what he's got for us. Matt. Okay, obviously Matt is tied up with cheerleaders right now, and we just cannot get Matt to break away.
He's in there somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, we suddenly have a new nickname for Matt Biamani, okay? Dan Marley, head coach, Grand Canyon. 7-9 in their first season in the WAC, first season in Division I. That's a pretty good start, really, for a program that was in D2 this time last year. UVU, though, 7-7 on the season. They've only lost once at home this year. That was to North Dakota State, a 4-point loss back on December 23rd, the Monday before Christmas. Other than that, they've been able to run the table. Got their work cut out for them here. Grand Canyon came in here ready to play. Same 5 start for the Wolverines that started the first half. And carrying the ball. Boy, you don't see that very often.
No, that's a good call, though. And I like the defensive intensity that Zach started with, because he was guarding Daniel Alexander, not allowing him to take a three, as he's shown he's wanting to do, and forced him to drive. And nice defense, great turnover there to start the second half.
Ben Aird to Nelson.
Hey, Jim, there we go. It's that patience aspect. That was another perfectly executed play, a high-low action, getting that ball. Ben Aird near the free throw line, top of the key area. Just a nice finish there on the pass inside.
Wolverines come away with it. Tie this thing with a 3. Okay, Avi's only had 1 shot tonight in that first half. Missed that one. Keabe with the basketball in his hands now.
See if the Wolverines try and get that ball inside. They're working around, but Holton with a nice drive.
Blocking foul is going to be called against Grand Canyon. Killian Larson picks up his second and the first team foul this half. Larson and Davis now with 2 fouls each. Nobody with more than 1 for UVU.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple really good things. You know, granted, we've only played for 1 minute and 16 seconds here, but you get, you know, turnover forced defensively. You get an isolation play where Daniel Alexander doesn't get the finish. Offensively, you get Ben Aird getting the ball inside to Zach Nelson for the finish, and here you get Holton Hunsaker going to the free throw line. All these in the, you know, the first minute and 16 seconds here. So a couple really good defensive possessions, a couple great offensive possessions. This is exactly what the Wolverines needed.
Wolverines went 0 for 3 from the free throw line in the first half, but they're 2 of 2 in the second half, and coming back the other way quickly. Grand Canyon basket will count. Foul going to be called against Holton Hunsaker.
Yeah, Holton got caught. What you're seeing, and when number 3 Sam Daly has the ball, we've talked about how he hasn't shot a lot of threes on the season, so when there are screens coming up to be set for him, the Wolverines are going underneath that screen. That's exactly what happened in that possession. Holton went underneath the screen, but Sam Daly had turned the corner, and Holton didn't have the proper angle, and he has to swipe at the ball at the last minute and gets called with the foul. So let's see if the Wolverines change that. Chances are they won't. They'll continue to go under that screen.
12 seconds on the shot clock for UVU. Seems every time that UVU claws back to within 1 or ties it up, Grand Canyon able to go in a quick little spurt. And another foul against Holton Hunsaker. That's his second. Team's second of this half. Both of them been called at Holton.
Yeah, I think Holton a little frustrated. I think he thought he was fouled from the last 3-point attempt, but you know, Holton's battling over screens. That time he got caught behind a screen, tried to get through it, and the official saw it as a foul on Holton.
Hayes Garrity into the game for Holton, who's went to the bench, and Garrity draws some big-time contact. That's going to be a foul against Grand Canyon. Well, the first half it wasn't a foul fest in that first half by any stretch of the imagination. 11 called in that first half. Already 4 here in the second half. Or what, 2 minutes and 20 seconds deep.
Yeah, I think both teams are being a little bit more aggressive. Once again, another play to get Ben open inside. A couple really good screens set, and what I like about that possession is Ben didn't catch the ball and just hold it. He realized where the defender was, caught it all in one motion, kept his momentum going inside, and finished with the right hand.
Daly dishes off inside, and a foul against UVU. Keabe Enos.
There again, we get the issue where Sam Daly is coming off. I wasn't sure if there was a screen set up top that time or if he just created his own offense in space there, but he's able to drive to the basket as we saw him a little bit earlier. He's able to drive to the basket. That time help has to come over to prevent the layup attempt, and Sam Daly with a nice dish off there inside, and the Wolverines forced a foul. So that's shaping up just within the first few minutes here. You know, let's see if Sam Daly continues that penetration and how the Wolverines are able to defend it.
UVU has been outscored at the free throw line by 7. That's something that doesn't happen very often. They average 16 free throws made per game to these Wolverines of UVU. They just haven't got to the stripe that many times. Keabe, shot rejected. Wolverines down by 4. Grand Canyon with another possession. Sam Daly, freshman from Australia. The only freshman on the active roster for Grand Canyon. All their other freshmen are redshirting. Alexander outside, can't get it to go.
Yeah, nice switch there from Zach Nelson and Ben Aird on Alexander. There was a big-on-big screen there, and a nice job of communication. Nice job of switching there and getting the shot pressure out on Daniel Alexander. Nice job there from Ben Aird.
Ben for three, got another one. Well, there's your Western Athletic Conference Player of the Week, and he might be on his way to another award. He's got 16 points, 7 rebounds, and he's hit both his three-point attempts. Zach Nelson with a rebound. UVU looking to take the lead. Bruneel.
Beautiful transition finish there. I like the patience that Zach had there. He didn't force anything, knew that he had Mitch out on the wing. A nice job of Mitch not getting called for an offensive foul, realizing the number 40, Blake Davis, was going to be attempting to take the charge, but a nice job of avoiding that and finishing.
That is Davis. And Canyon will have a fresh shot clock to work with off the miss. Three-pointer is good from Alexander. Well, that's what we were talking about. Every time UVU claws to within one or takes the lead, it's like right back comes Grand Canyon. That is the 8th lead change of this game.
Yeah, and another long three from Alexander. You have to respect his ability to shoot that, and that's when you go out and guard him when he looks to drive. But Kiabe with a big shot. Big shot from Kiabe knocking down that three. That'll spread that offense out even further.
Wolverines back out in front. Kiabe Enos' first points of the game. Driving in, foul's going to go against Kiabe Enos. That's going to be foul number 3 on Kiabe. Now Coach Dick Hunsaker got a little dilemma. Wolverines by 1.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Back at the UCCU Center, Wolverines of Utah Valley and Grand Canyon hooking up in a tight little battle here. First Western Athletic Conference game ever played at the UCCU Center or on the campus of UVU. And what would you expect other than tight all the way? All right, we think Matt Viamonte is out of cheerleader row, and we'll see what he's got over there now.
Thanks, Jim. The WAC standings are very interesting at this moment. Once this game concludes, all teams will have played 2 WAC games, and if UVU wins, they'll be 2-0, and they will be one of 3 teams that actually have a winning percentage above 500 in the Western Athletic Conference. New Mexico State also has a winning record, and so does Seattle University. So credit to the Wolverines for making some adjustments after a tough road stretch in the non-conference schedule to bounce back and be one of the better teams here in the Western Athletic Conference. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, somebody passed us a note earlier that Chicago State beat Kansas City earlier in WAC play. I did not get a final score, but if that is true, and the person who told me would not lie to me. Chicago State is now 2-0 in the conference. New Mexico State playing tonight, currently 2-0. Kansas City falls to 2-1. UVU 1-0. So UVU liable to be just one of 3 teams, if they can win this thing, to be unblemished in the Western Athletic Conference. But boy, oh boy, they got their hands full for the next 14 minutes and change. Just a 1-point lead for the Wolverines right now.
I think a lot of it is going to be defending this guy with the ball, Sam Daly. Let's see, looks like they're going to get this action where they had a little bit earlier where they're going to get him coming off of some type of a screen.
Daly's got 12 points. Alexander's got 13, but it's going to be a foul as Garrison tried to go to the hole. UVU picks up the personal. Zach Nelson picks up his second personal.
Now, what you see a lot of times, Jim, when there's a lot of offensive action, whether there's players coming off double screens or on the ball screens being set, is you get a lot of switching. And that's what happened. That case for the Wolverines is there was a switch which got Zach Nelson on Jerome Garrison, and Jerome Garrison would think that is a mismatch because he's got a bigger player on him, and no surprise to see him try and drive and get his game going to the basket.
Yet another lead change. 40-39. Grand Canyon by 1 now. Right at 14 minutes left in this one. Ben Aird could not get it to go. He drew the foul, though. He'll shoot 2. That foul on Grand Canyon's Jerome Garrison. His first, team's third of this half.
I think Ben did a nice job there. He came off of a screen. I believe it was kind of an up screen that was set from Chiave that got him going to the basket. And as he got around the block, likely anticipated or felt a little bit of early contact and immediately turned and shot that ball. And he was right as the foul was immediately called. Nice job of, again, from Ben Aird of reading the defense and understanding where they are.
Ben Aird, the senior from Battlefield, Utah, recruited by just about every big program in the country, but he said the night before signing day he changed his mind and UVU was the place for him. Wolverine fans are glad that happened. He did tie it up. Wolverines looking discombobulated. Coach Dick Hunsaker jumped off the bench and called a timeout as Chiave dove for the ball. We're tied at 40. Just under 13:45 to play. We'll take a timeout.
To the young ones, the small ones, the ones they had planned on leaving in their shadow. I know your determination, your heart, the need you have to prove something, the sweat, the miles, the hours that stretch into days, and nights, and years. I know because I've been there. And now is ours. The earth and the sky are ours. And this is where you belong. Join us. We're waiting for you. And so are they.
Here in the second half, Wolverines 5 of 7 shooting. Meanwhile, Grand Canyon 2 of 7. Wolverines trailed at halftime by 5 points, but because of that hot shooting by UVU and cold shooting by Grand Canyon, it's now tied at 40. Ben Aird, my goodness, 17 points, 7 rebounds. He's one of 5 players for UVU to have scored. In fact, the only 5 players to have scored are their 5 starters. Ben's got 17, Zach Nelson, Mitch Bruneel with 6 each, Holton Hunsaker 8 points, and Chiave Enos with 3. Meanwhile, for Grand Canyon, they've had 6 players score. They're starting 5, plus Zuloff has a point off the bench. Leading scorer is Alexander with 13, Daly with 12, Garrison 8, Larson 4, and Davis with 2. Well, we mentioned in the first half, if this thing comes down to a free throw shooting contest, I don't know who's got the advantage. UVU is number 6 in the nation, number 1 in the WAC, but Grand Canyon not that far behind. They're number 2 in the WAC. Let's hope it doesn't turn into that. I'd like to see him just a 3-point buzzer beater would be great at this point.
Is that your prediction?
No. I learned a long time ago.
I had an idea.
Don't predict.
Lots of people have
silly.
ideas.
13 and a half minutes to play. We're tied at 40. Incredibly low scoring game, Matt. Hunsaker Another defensive rebound for Grand Canyon. It's their 26th rebound of the game.
Let's see what Grand Canyon does offensively here. They had some success a little earlier with Sam Daly being aggressive, and you're going to get an illegal screen there, which is very rarely called. It's almost as rare as the palming call that you see, but clearly there Alexander was not set and bumped into and knocked Holton off of his path and gets called for the offensive foul.
His second. So now Grand Canyon's got 4 players on the floor with 2 fouls each. UVU's got 2 players with 2 each, and Keavianis with 3. Just under 13 minutes to play. Enos for 3, in and out. Grand Canyon basketball.
Nice job inside there. Wolverines last couple possessions haven't looked as sharp or as crisp on the offensive end as they did to start the half, but a good look at 3 there from Chiavi, and a nice job of Mitch Bruneel inside battling for the offensive rebound. And if you're wondering, I mentioned a little bit earlier, you get a turnover here, a wild pass there from Jerome Garrison, but anybody that wants to learn how to defend getting around or fighting through screens just needs to watch Holton Hunsaker, because he's not afraid to try and go through or go around, however or whatever it takes to get over or through a screen. He's going to do it, and it's fun to watch out on the perimeter because it's needed at this point from the Wolverines.
3rd turnover this half for Grand Canyon. Hunsaker for 3.
I think Sam Daly got a little bit lazy defensively there. He thought that Holton picked up his dribble, thought he was going to pass the ball, and he relaxed, and Holton noticed that and rose up over the defender. A nice shot there from Holton.
Hunsaker into double figures with 11. So Wolverines' largest lead of the game. And a foul is going to get called against Zach Nelson of UVU. It's going to be Zach's 3rd personal foul. When we come back, Utah Valley in a little bit of trouble.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
UVU with nursing a 3-point lead at the moment. Wolverines' upcoming schedule, they've got 2 road games next week, at Idaho on Thursday and at Seattle. That game has been moved from Saturday to Sunday. It's going to be a Sunday 2 o'clock start in Seattle. Wolverines' next home game will be Thursday the 23rd, hosting Kansas City. That'll be a UVU TV game, as well as the Chicago State game on the 25th, and then Wolverines hit the road again for a trip to Edinburgh, Texas on the January 30th. (43-40). Utah Valley out in front of Grand Canyon. At the free throw line for Grand Canyon, Jerome Garrison. He's perfect, 6 of 6 from the stripe. Grand Canyon's only missed 2 free throws tonight. They're 11 of 13, we'll make it 12 of 14 now. Meanwhile, the Wolverines just 3 of 7 from the stripe. They've been outscored by 9 points, 10 points at the free throw line.
And a lot of what Grand Canyon is doing offensively, whether it be Sam Daly or Jerome Garrison, is coming off of screens. And if they can get a switch of a big guy coming off, as you get a post up here from Ben Aird, I think you're going to get Killian Larson with the foul inside. But back to just to finish my point quickly, is if Grand Canyon can set a screen and they can get a switch, their guards are looking to drive, and that's where the Wolverines have got into a little bit of trouble fouling.
That was the third foul on Killian Larson. Leading scorer for Grand Canyon on the season. Inside, Ben Aird hammered. That foul's going to go against Killian Larson. He picks up third and fourth fouls just back to back. My goodness.
Yeah, and you've got to give so much credit to Ben right now because he is working inside. And the reason that Killian Larson is fouling is because Ben is getting better position. And he's putting Killian in a bad spot. I mean, the previous time it was just a simple duck in, and there was a foul called. That time Ben uses a post-up move to get the ball inside, uses an up and under, and another foul called. So Ben using his size and just his post-up ability, putting Killian Larson in a bad spot.
The officials have called an official timeout as Ben evidently got cut. That's trainer Andrew Nelson working on Big Ben. So that'll give us a break with 11 minutes, 19 seconds left. We'll stay here, though. UVU with a 1-point lead right now with Grand Canyon, 43-42. Ben Aird picks up the very stylish WW1 headband.
It's a good look for Ben, I think. Except it almost looks like it's covering his right eye, but hopefully he'll fight through it.
I think the official even told him that was a good look for him.
That's what happens when you're physical.
Is that a big goose egg I see?
Yeah. When you're inside and you're physical, you're going to get fouled.
Ben Aird, 18 points now. Ben's coming off a 26-point performance a week ago against Bakersfield. That's why he was named Western Athletic Conference Player of the Week this week. 26 points, 13 rebounds then. Right now he's given UVU a 3-point lead, 45-42. He's got 19 points, 7 rebounds. And a really cool headband. Three-pointer, Alexander. Bruneel pulls down. Holton Hunsaker working the perimeter for UVU. Under 11 minutes to play. Hunsaker for three. Front rim. Grand Canyon. Possession. Hunsaker 3 of 10 shooting now. Had a streak there. I thought he was really warming up. Can't find the range here lately. Inside, losing the handle. I thought, but they're going to give it to Grand Canyon. Jerome Garrison driving in.
And again, Jim, that's a situation where you get another switch. Jerome Garrison coming off of a pick or coming off some type of action where Zach Nelson gets switched off. That time Zach did a nice job of not fouling, and you're going to get another moving illegal screen here.
All right, let's go to the sideline for Matt.
Quick update on Ben. He hit his head on the floor and is bleeding a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to need stitches, but the trainer, they wrapped his head out. And next opportunity, they're going to put a headband over that wrap so it doesn't slide around. Back to you.
45-42. Wolverines by 3 right now. They haven't scored now for 2 minutes, but it is their biggest lead of the game, the 3.
A little bit of confusion there. The official thought that Holton was going to be shooting, but no foul on an offensive foul like that.
Zach Nelson a little too anxious. Travels on his way to the hole.
I think Zach tried to force the action a little bit there. That was an isolation play, definitely trying to clear out that side of the court for him. And nice defense there. I believe that was from Daniel Alexander, but Zach just got a little too eager and forced the action just a little bit.
That goes in the books as a turnover against the Wolverines, and that's only their second turnover of the game. Meanwhile, they force the ball out of bounds off Sam Daly.
You know, it's that same action, Jim. Don't mean to be repetitive, but in the last 2 possessions, the Wolverines have defended it perfectly. The previous time Zach Nelson stopped the play, did not foul, ball went out of bounds. That last time, same thing. Ben Aird this time, though, he was able to force the offensive player to turn the ball over. So a nice job of the big guys switching and not fouling and not giving up offensive baskets.
Holton drives in. Big Ben. I don't think his eyes covered up at all, man.
Nope.
19 points. Make it 21 officially now for Big Ben. 47-42.
And I think the Wolverines will live with that. Sam Daly coming off of a screen rather than driving because he hasn't had success the last couple of possessions, pulls up for the jump shot. I think that the Wolverines will be very happy with that.
Hunsaker looking for a foul call out front. Didn't get it. Grand Canyon basketball.
Yeah, that was not a good shot from Holton. I think he'd give anything to have that one back. That was just not in the offense, and plenty of time left on the shot clock.
Grand Canyon has not made a basket since the 15-21 mark. Well, now they have. Long two. 47-44, Wolverines by 3. Grand Canyon 3 of 10 shooting this half. Wolverines 7 of 14. Enos. There's the best three-point shooter in the Western Athletic Conference. Got another one to go.
Yeah, and he set that one up beautifully. There were a couple of, as we get a foul call out here on, I believe, on Mitch Bruneel on the wing, but Keabe set that up, that three-point shot up beautifully with his patience in waiting until those screens were set and sprinting off of the screen, using the screeners to his advantage, and sets his feet and knocks down the shot.
Foul was indeed on Mitch Bruneel, his first.
Yeah, on the wing there. So.
No, sorry.
Both teams, Jim, from here on out, going to be at the free throw line. So you made the point a little bit earlier about how well the free throw shooting goes for both teams. So that could play a role here.
Still got 8:27 to play.
Let's use it to our advantage there, Jim. The
jinx.
The jinx. That's exactly what the Wolverines need.
7 team fouls against each one of these clubs. Wolverines by 6. If you joined us late, Wolverines trailed at halftime by 5. It was 30-25. Hayes Garrity, little scoop. Nope. Grand Canyon.
The rim seems like it has a lid on it for the Wolverine bench players. They still have not had any player off of the bench score. The shots like that are going to be good because that's only a matter of time before that falls for Hayes.
Daly, I think, tried a little too hard on that one. Garrity comes away with a rebound.
Again, great defense. Oh, and a turnover for the Wolverines.
Garrity and Zach Nelson not exactly on the same page on that possession. Wolverines by 6. Timeout on the floor.
Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
Love playing at home. We told you about their next 5 games. Here's Grand Canyon's next 5 games. They're going to be hosting Idaho and Seattle on the 23rd and the 25th, respectively. That's next Thursday and Saturday. Then they hit the road at Chicago State on the 30th, and then at Kansas City on February 1st. And then guess what? These two match up again in the 5th game for Grand Canyon, but that's going to be down in Phoenix That'll be a 7 o'clock tip in Phoenix between UVU and Grand Canyon on February 6th. And based on what we've seen so far tonight, I expect that to be a very close game as well.
You know, I think that's kind of the normal when you get into conference season. You know, granted, the Wolverines, this is somewhat new to them. You know, the conference season, even though they have played in conferences before, but you know, most teams in conference play are going to be evenly matched in these games, whether at home or on the road. They're going to be battles. There's going to be a tough fight, and you have to play well to win.
Under 7.5 minutes left. Ben Aird stripped of that rebound. Garrison trying his best to get that thing to go, and finally does.
Ben Aird with really good defense initially. Just when he had that ball bringing it down, that's something that you see often, the guards swiping up as the big man bringing the ball down for the rebound, and Jerome Garrison gets the finish.
Just the 4th basket of the second half for Grand Canyon. Zach Nelson off the glass.
Yeah, much better patience there. You compare that with his previous possession when he had the clear out and the isolation play. That time he took his time, read the defender, and made a nice hook, nice jump shot with the right hand.
Wolverines by 6. 3-pointer. Short. Picked up by Davis. Okugo can't get it to go. And I believe UVU wants to call a timeout. 6:25 to play. Wolverines by 6. Let's check in with our sideline reporter once again, Matt.
You touched on this a moment ago, Jim, but I just want to highlight it again. How good has Ben Aird been lately? He is the WAC Player of the Week. That is also the first time that a Wolverine has been named WAC Player of the Week this season. And in the last game against Bakersfield, he had a double-double at 26 and 13, well above his season average of 11 and 7. And tonight, he's proving that he's probably the go-to guy, and they're going to need a lot of Ben Aird down the stretch in this game if they want to get another WAC conference win. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, you, Matt. Ben is actually the 2nd all-time leading scorer here at Utah Valley. 1,310 points coming into tonight. He's got 21 tonight. He trails Ryan Toulson by about 800 points. I don't think he's going to catch Ryan this season. Be nice if he did, but that would be pretty darn amazing.
That would be awesome.
Right now, UVU just hanging on to what feels like a nail-biter. 6-point lead. Keavi can't get the 3 to go. Alexander with another rebound. He's got 8 of them now. Along with 13 points. Daly and Garrison with 12 points each for Grand Canyon.
Let's see if Grand Canyon speeds up their offensive intensity a little bit. Down 6 points as Jerome Garrison gets the layup, but miss, and the Wolverines out and running.
Shot blocked that time. Flying in, Daniel Alexander blocking Holton Hunsaker's shot. Here comes Okugo. That'll be Grand Canyon basketball. That last rebound from Ben Aird, he's now got a double-double. 21 points, 10 rebounds. Back-to-back double-doubles for Ben Aird. Still got 5:45 to play. Wolverines by 6. Stripped away, turnover. 11 turnovers for Grand Canyon. Mitch Bruneel and one. Foul against Blake Davis. For Davis, his 3rd. Larson already on the bench with 4 for Grand Canyon.
Great job there by Mitch Bruneel. The number one thing that he should be commended for is off of the turnover, out and running in transition. But secondly, as he gathers himself, goes up for the layup, he shields that ball away with his body and creates contact with his body. Knows that he gets fouled and then finishes. So nice job of out in transition and then drawing the contact to finish.
It's a 12-4 run right now for Utah Valley. They lead at 55-46. And did we mention Blake Larson, or Larson checked back into the game, Killian Larson?
Yeah, and a nice job there, nice finish there. Ben with good defense. He didn't bring his hands down. His hands were straight up. No chance for the official to call a foul. And Killian Larson just with a strong finish.
7-point lead for the Wolverines. Ben Aird for three. Missed that one. Rebound. Daly.
And here's where I think you're going to see Grand Canyon pick up their offensive effort a lot more.
Ben Aird pulls down yet another rebound.
And how many shots have we seen Grand Canyon miss right there at the rim? And you know, the Wolverines are contesting. The Wolverine bigs are contesting those shots. They've done a great job of doing that. But you know, for the last 4 minutes, that's what Grand Canyon is going to do. They are going to come off screens, their guards. They're going to drive to the basket, kick out if the opportunity is there.
Again, Grand Canyon shot 65% just 48 hours ago at Bakersfield in the second half. Tonight, 26%. They put up 19 shots in the second half, made only 5, but Hunsaker buries the three, and the Wolverines have hit 11 of 22 in the second half.
We said at halftime, Jim, that 35% in the first half likely wasn't going to be the same percentage they shoot in the second half, and it hasn't been. And you know, they're just staying patient, and it's coming through for them here because they're playing great offensively now.
10-point lead for the Wolverines. Ben Aird maintains the dribble, did not travel. Ben Aird, 12 rebounds now. Just one away from tying his season high. He had 13 the Thursday night rebounds. He's got 12 unofficially now. Driving in. And we're going to shoot a couple of free throws when we get back from this commercial break. Is that foul going to be called against Grand Canyon? 3:37 to play. Wolverines are up by 10 points.
Join the student section and cheer for the mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
(58-48). 10-point lead matches UVU's biggest here of the game, and it's all come in the second half for UVU, where they have shot 11 of 22 from the floor, including 5 of 10 three-pointers. Meanwhile, Grand Canyon, ice cold, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc in the second half, and just 5 of 20 from the floor.
You know, Jim, a couple stats that really stick out to me. The Wolverines have 26 points in the paint. You know, 26 of their 58 have been in the paint. They forced Grand Canyon into 11 turnovers, and they've turned those turnovers into 16 points. And I know we have 3.5 minutes left, but Wolverines as a team have only turned the ball over 3 times. That's got to be a season low.
Oh yeah, it's a season low.
By far, maybe even a school record low, because that's unusual for any team to take care of the basketball that well. Only 3 turnovers, and Grand Canyon's with those 3 turnovers, they've only turned that into 2 points. So, spectacular job from the Wolverines of taking care of the ball. And what you're likely going to see from Grand Canyon, if they make a basket offensively, or there's a dead ball situation off of a possession that they've had, very common to see some type of full court trap or full court pressure trying to get the Wolverines to turn the ball over.
Holton Hunsaker now with 15 points, the best free throw shooter in the Western Athletic Conference, and the number 26 best free throw shooter in the country.
It's
misses.
Alive and well.
The jinx. The Jimmy Mack jinx. Just hit the mute button on my mic the next time he goes to the line, okay?
Will do.
There's sort of just kidding about that, man.
Oh.
You'll have to take a number. There's a lot of people who would like to hit that mute button. Wolverines with another rebound on a miss.
Yeah, and I think, with the deficit that Grand Canyon has here, it's going to be about creating as many possessions as they can, and if they get the opportunity, that 3 is going up as soon as possible. So, don't foul on those 3-point shots, and then you've got to have everybody on your team rebounding. So,
Ben Aird thought was there for the tip, but couldn't get it down. Grand Canyon with yet another rebound. They've pulled down 37 rebounds in this game. Came in here averaging 36. Nice lob inside to Larson. Fouled, stopping the clock at 2:31 to play. Mitch Bruneel being called for the foul. His second.
Yeah, you see Zach Nelson fronting the post there. It's what we've seen a lot tonight. Whether it's Zach Nelson or Ben Aird inside fronting the post. If you can have a guy who's good at passing the ball from the perimeter, just lob that ball over the top. If you don't have help side defense, or if you have a late rotation like that situation with Mitch Bruneel, you're forced to foul. And again, this is what we talked about, Jim. If you get a tip away there, but off of this made free throw, you're going to get full court pressure.
Nine-point lead for Utah Valley. Hunsaker will do the honors, bring this across the timeline.
Yep, here comes a trap.
And a kick being called, so it'll remain Utah Valley basketball. Still 25 seconds on the shot clock for the Wolverines.
And everybody, you're going to get Hayes Garrity coming into the game for Zach Nelson. Give Coach Hunsaker and the Wolverines an additional ball handler.
Hayes Garrity got out of that trap. Here comes Mitch Bruneel. And one. Foul against Blake Davis. It'll be his fourth personal foul. Larson and Davis, 4 fouls each for Grand Canyon. UVU's biggest lead right now. It's 11 with 2:04 left.
Yeah, another high-quality finish there from Mitch Bruneel after drawing contact. Very good at that. Leading up to that was the fact that the Wolverines took care of the ball, as we talked about, how impressive they've been tonight in the turnover department.
Driving in the lane and causing some contact is Jerome Garrison, and he comes up favoring a left knee, left ankle. Something going on with the left side of him. Grabbing a calf, it looks like.
Yeah, shin maybe, but I don't know.
Foul was against Ben Aird, UVU, just his second personal. Clock stopped with 1:57 left, and UVU out front by 12. Free throw from Garrison gives him 13 points tonight, ties Alexander for a team high. Of his 13 points, 9 of them have come from the free throw line. Grand Canyon 16 of 19 from the stripe. UVU 8 of 13. UVU's been outscored by 8 from the stripe. Back to a 10-point lead for Utah Valley. Wolverines across the stripe with 1:46 left.
You'll see players in this situation coming back to the basketball. You don't run away from the ball in this situation. You got to come back, get catches. That's the most important thing right now.
Hunsaker's pass deflected. Wolverines control, but a whistle as Coach Dick Hunsaker jumped up off the bench, saw his players in a little trouble and called a timeout. 62-52, Wolverines by 10. Let's go back to our sideline reporter, Matt. Cheerleader, Matt. There you go.
Matt's going to know better than me, but I'm interested in his opinion on this point. The Wolverines had a very tough non-conference schedule. It's no secret that they played at Oklahoma State and at Oregon. And I got to tip my hat to Coach Hunsaker for having such a difficult non-conference schedule. I think that's prepped them well for WAC play, and they've shown that being tough and getting the plays done late in this game in their second WAC game. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, Matt brings up a very valid point. The Wolverines played an incredibly tough road schedule. Lost 5 in a row on the road, but you're talking 2 top 15 teams in Oklahoma State and Oregon.
Well, and I think it definitely makes your team better because you got to prepare for those teams, and it kind of sets the tone, so to speak, for your season. You know, you got to go out and play your best basketball against those teams. And where they were competitive in those games, I think it really helped.
Ben Aird. It'll be UVU basketball. Shot did not hit the rim. They're saying the shot clock went off, but it went off a Grand Canyon player. And officials are huddled up, going to make this decision. They want to look at a replay.
Yeah, I thought that ball did hit the rim. We see a replay in the arena here. That ball clearly hit the rim.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I only saw it on the replay because
the jumbotron.
The jumbotron, and we'll see a replay on it here. But from our angle, it was questionable. But when you see the replay,
oh yeah,
you see the ball, the course of the ball get changed.
So it did set it should
have reset the shot clock. Yes.
And the ball was tipped out of bounds by Grand Canyon. So I'm pretty sure the officials will get this thing straightened out. It'll be UVU basketball.
See this replay here?
Yeah.
Definitely hits the rim.
There's two video systems here at the UCCU Center. One that we're showing you from UVU TV, which is student produced, and then the other is the Jumbotron system, which has its own cameras and its own replays. And that's what they show the crowd here, and the coaches, players see that. Well, as we predicted, UVU basketball. Minute 18 left. Wolverines by 10. And a foul out front is Zach Nelson looking for somebody, and fouled by Garrison. Just his second. That'll put Zach Nelson at the free throw line for 2. A minute 14 to play. Zach misses the front end. This has not been a good night from the free throw line for UVU. 8 of 14. 57%. This is a team that's 6th in the nation, shooting 77% on the season, and he missed another one. But you know what? The only stat that matters is that 62-52 right now. Here's a 3. Daly skied for the rebound, but Ben Aird comes up with it. Keavi draws a little contact at midcourt from Alexander. Alexander will be called for the foul. Stops the clock with 59 seconds left.
I mentioned a couple of games ago, Jim, when we were calling a game that, from my experience as a defender, this type of situation, these end of games, if you're in the Wolverines scenario where you have a lead, it's always really difficult to play defense because you never really know what. You never have a definite answer, or you don't know what the offensive team, in this case Grand Canyon, is going to be doing, and so you're always on high alert, and you just have to be aware of anything goes at any point, and because you're trying to close out the game, you don't want to give up an open three-point shot to allow any momentum to go back into the other team's favor. So I think the Wolverines have done a great job of playing defense in the last 2.5 minutes here.
Keavi with 8 points. Inside, clock will stop with 49.3, and Ben Aird will be whistled for his 3rd personal foul. And we'll shoot some more free throws. Garrison, 15 points now. Cuts UVU's lead to 11. They get 16 for Garrison. Team high for Grand Canyon. Utah Valley, 3 players in double figures. Ben Aird 21. Holton Hunsaker 15. Mitch Bruneel 12. A timeout on the floor. We'll stay here for this one as well. With just 49.3 seconds left. And, stranger things have happened. But right now, Utah Valley looks like they're going to improve to 2-0 in the WAC. Grand Canyon will fall to 2-2 if this score holds. UVU will be one of 3 undefeated teams in the Western Athletic Conference play.
We talked about in most of our broadcasts leading up to this how important it was, and Matt just mentioned the tough schedule that they played, but how important it was in all of those games that they start leading up, play their best basketball, starting their conference season. And in my estimation, it's come true because they're playing, to me, the best basketball. You go on the road and get back Bakersfield a win there. You see a little extracurricular activity on the sideline.
That time Garrison, long after the whistle blew, was going after the ball, and he and Hunsaker, I think they're okay. There's any bad blood there.
Anyway, to finish my quick point there is I think the Wolverines are playing some of the best basketball I've seen them play this year. You commented how well they played in Bakersfield, and this is just an extension of that. And so this has got to please Coach Hunsaker, and it's great from our perspective to see it because we know that they're getting better each game, and we see what they're capable of.
Hayes Garrity misses from the free throw line. UVU's bench still has yet to score a point.
There we go.
The Jinx works both ways. 65-54. Yeah, this is clearly the best back-to-back games the Wolverines have put together this season.
I got ball.
Matador defense against Daniel Alexander that time, not wanting to stop the clock.
Yeah.
But then the timeout by Coach Dan Marley does with 30.4 seconds left. UVU up by 9, 65-56.
We talked a little bit of, throughout the whole game really, how their offensive patience was, but you look at in the second half what they've done defensively. They've really shut down Grand Canyon. I mean, on the game, Grand Canyon shooting 33%. They're shooting 24% from the 3, and they've got to the free throw line, which is where they really excelled, 19 and 22. But their field goal defense, I think you mentioned the Wolverines are top of the WAC or very near the top of the WAC in either points allowed or field goal percentage. So that trend is going to continue, and that's where they really excelled tonight, is how well they've done defensively.
Yeah, their points allowed is number 1 in the WAC. 24 and a half seconds left. We'll walk back down to UVU's end and shoot a couple of free throws. Yukachi Ukugo picks up his 3rd foul. Holton Hunsaker, 15 points tonight. Hit the mute button, please. See? I didn't say a word that time. Neither did you.
I don't know what to say.
Holton 3 of 5 from the free throw line. This is a kid who finished 4th in the nation last year in free throw shooting. He was that good. He's great. He's good this year. He's just not as great as he was. And he's got a damaged ring finger on his left hand. That's not his shooting hand. 15 and a half seconds left. Well, they keep chipping away.
Hopefully my point was made a few minutes ago, Jim, when I said with a minute left that it was the hardest situation to play defensively when you have maybe a 10-point lead like the Wolverines did, and you have a team that can just come down and do whatever because you get a 3-point shot there that was airballed, which is not normally what happens, and you get a guy cutting underneath the basket, comes up with it and lays it up and in, no contest. It's a difficult situation because the offense has nothing to lose, and the defense you have everything to lose, and so it just makes it difficult. And when you go to the free throw line and you miss free throws like the Wolverines have done, granted there's 15 seconds left, but Grand Canyon's fought, and we get almost another turnover, but it's a 7-point game.
Ben Air double team in the backcourt, 11.3 to play. And we'll walk down, and Big Ben will be at the free throw line where he's 3 of 6 tonight.
Yeah, man, the Wolverines caught another break there because Holton wasn't expecting that pass in the middle or it was deflected, but nevertheless, Wolverines get the ball, and Ben's going to the free throw line. They needs to convert both of these.
21 points, 14 rebounds. The 14 rebounds is a season high and just 1 rebound away from tying a career high for Big Ben. He misses the free throw, where he's 3 of 7 now. 26 points, by the way, would be Ben's career high, but right now stuck at 21. Wolverines have missed a mess of free throws here in the second half. They're 11 of 19. 11 of 20. That's amazing. 3 back the other way. Ben Aird will be credited with that one. And there you go. Wolverines win this one by 7. Final score 65-58. Ben Aird 21 points and ties a career high with 15 rebounds. Hunsaker 15 points. Bruneel 12. Nelson 8. Enos 8. Garrity 1. Wolverines 8 and 7 now. Grand Canyon 7 and 10. It's the WAC that's most important. Wolverines 2-0.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
Utah Valley wins this one 65-58. Matt Peterson, your thoughts on this one real quick?
Well, I think statistically we'll take a look hopefully at some of the stats, but just kind of an odd game. The Wolverines didn't turn the basketball over. 3 turnovers on the game. They shoot their worst free throw percentage, I would guess, on the season, 11 of 23. But I think what really stood out to me is the difference between the first half and the second half. The first half, the Wolverines played pretty good defense. They gave up 30 points. And in the second half, they gave up more points in the second half than they did in the first, but I think their defense was better because of the fact that they really shut down Grand Canyon. I mean, for the game, they ended up shooting 33% from the field. The Wolverines shot 40%. So I think their defensive effort got better as the game went on, and then as the game went on, their offensive effort matched that, because we talked about at halftime how they just couldn't get anything to fall in that first half offensively. So it was all about the staying patient through the halftime going into the second half, and that really turned out for them in the second.
All right, we'll take a look real quick at some highlights from this game. I'll let you again walk us through here as we're getting the final stat sheet in front of us. Wolverines, as you said, shoot 40% on the game, 33 for Grand Canyon though.
Yeah, and I think Ben Aird really set the tone early in the game. He had a dunk early in the game. He had a mid-range jump shot early. He had a three-pointer early, and then he was really the offensive force throughout the entire game, ending up with 21 points. And not enough credit did we talk about throughout the game was given. Not enough credit was given to him for the defense that he played on Killian Larson, who averaged almost 16 points points per game and averaged 11 rebounds per game. He was held to 8 points and 10 rebounds. So that was a lot of credit needs to be given to Ben inside as well as to Zach inside, because those guys played really well. Ben had the statistics more so, but I think both of those guys really played well inside, limiting the keys, the players of the game that we had outlined for Grand Canyon.
And again, we touched on it in that second half, but the Wolverines do indeed end up with only 3 turnovers for the whole game.
I mean, that's incredible.
It
really is incredible. And that just gives you so many more opportunities. What do we have here? Grand Canyon turned those 3 turnovers into 2 points, and the Wolverines forced 11 turnovers and turned that into 16 points. What I like too is the Wolverines 14 assists to 3 turnovers, and they make 23 baskets on the night. So 14 of those 23 baskets were assisted. So it was good offense. It was passing to your open teammate type offense, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. And it wasn't sloppy on their end because they only had those 3 turnovers.
It was a fun game to watch. Thanks for being here, partner. Wolverines win it 65-58. Wolverines hit the road now. 2 road games, and then they'll be back here in, a couple of weeks for our next TV game against Kansas City on January 23rd. That one should be fun. Wolverines now 2-0 in Western Athletic Conference play, something that might surprise some folks around the conference, but doesn't surprise a lot of people here. They know what kind of team they've had. All right, that's going to do it for here. Hey, thanks for being with us. This telecast produced by students from the UVU Digital Media Department. This has been a copyrighted production of Utah Valley University and the Wolverine Sports Network. For Matt Peterson, Jim McCullough. Good night.